2020's Sonic the Hedgehog was to no one's surprise only fairly okay despite all the references to the source material. But now, after 2 years, our favorite blue blur Sonic the Hedgehog, voiced by Ben Schwartz, is back with a second film, and it doesn't disappoint. The 2022 film, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, is a huge step up from the first, as it even been doing better than recent Marvel films, greatly surpassing Morbius in the box office, and having a better cinema score than Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. After the setup from the first film, Sonic 2 continues to bring more elements of the games, like having Tails, voiced by Colleen O'Shaughnessy, and Knuckles, voiced by Idris Elba, the Master Emerald and the Chaos Emeralds. Tails is a cute little genius fox who is born with 2 tails that he's able to fly with. And when Sonic created that electromagnetic blast in the first film, the blast had ended up reaching Tails' home planet, and he started to watch and monitor Sonic. And after watching him defeat Dr. Robotnik, made Tails start to look up to him. But when he saw the mighty warrior Knuckles the Echidna was after him, he had to go to Earth to help him. Knuckles is from an extinct warrior tribe of Echidnas. The tribe had been wiped out because they got too greedy for land and power, all getting wiped out in a war. All except a young Knuckles, who is now on a quest after the mystical Master Emerald, which has the power to destroy civilizations. And when stumbling upon Dr. Robotnik on the mushroom planet that he got sent to in the first film, Dr. Robotnik takes this opportunity to manipulate Knuckles into thinking Sonic is after the Master Emerald with malicious intent. After Robotnik and Knuckles make it back to Earth, Robotnik gives Sonic a visit, sends Knuckles after him. After nearly escaping with the help from Tails, Sonic and Tails try to figure out why Robotnik is back. After Tails figures out that Robotnik's plan is to actually steal the Master Emerald behind Knuckles' back, together, Sonic and Tails go after the Emerald to try and get to it before Robotnik. Now, I love that almost every single scene has a reference to the games, like the snowboarding scene being a reference to Ice Cap Zone from Sonic 3, or Robotnik's giant robot referencing the Death Egg robot from Sonic 2, or Tails' red plane referencing the tornado, and even some more obscure references, like Dr. Stone's coffee shop being called the Mean Bean, a reference to Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean machine, and a whole bunch of other stuff. But it does kind of make this film only very good if you're a Sonic fan. Otherwise, it's probably nothing really special. And for what it's worth, director Jeff Fowler and writers Pat Casey, Josh Miller, and John Whittington do a really good job at putting the fantasy parts of the Sonic world into the real world, and give the characters good and thought out personalities, something that even Sonic Team and Sega seem to forget about. Unfortunately though, the dialogue is jam-packed with as many quips and non-stop references as possible. They're not even particularly good, they're just overwhelming in both mundanity and sheer volume that the viewer just kind of has to accept their mediocrity and let them fade into the background to fully enjoy Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Like, you just have to completely ignore that a Robotnik quotes Trump or Sonic calls Knuckles the Winter Soldier. Like, okay Sonic, we get it, you watched a lot of superhero movies. Now, I haven't mentioned Sonic's parents, Tom and Maddie Wachowski, until now because all the human characters play into the most indecisive part of the film, the wedding scene. While Sonic and Tom's relationship was integral to the first film, the splitting up of these two caused the film to feel like 2 different movies that don't really go together. Basically, Tom and Maddie go to Hawaii for Rachel's wedding, which turned out to be Operation Catfish, which was a setup by GUN, Guardian Units of Nations, to capture Sonic. But most fans of this movie don't like it, but without it, it would be kind of jarring or weird. However, immediately after the not so great wedding scene, the film starts to embrace the Sonic again, having Sonic, Robotnik, and Knuckles run around a temple that looks exactly like Labyrinth Zone from Sonic 1. It's truly impressive that Fowler has found a way to integrate the wild world and characters of Sonic the Hedgehog into the real world, in a way that actually works. However, does this come at the cost of the friendship between Tom and Sonic that made the first film just so charming? And now, with all the core pieces of Sonic the Hedgehog now out on the table, it holds super great potential for Sonic the Hedgehog 3. But as I've said before, this film is absolutely awesome if you're a Sonic fan, but as a genuine standalone film, it's nothing special. So Sonic fan me rates it a 10 out of 10 easily, but as an actual movie, it's only a 7.5 out of 10. Okay, so now I'm gonna talk about spoiler stuff here, so cover your ears, close the video, whatever. If you haven't seen it and are thinking about seeing it, go see it and come back, okay? The way the Chaos Emeralds are used in this film is really good, and shows how awesome Sonic is supposed to be. At the climax, when Robotnik was in his giant Death Egg robot and Sonic goes super, it actually sent chills down my spine. And the reveal of Project Shadow at the end, it was so hyped, the whole theater was shouting in excitement. Even now when I think about it, it puts a smile on my face in anticipation for the third movie. But I am concerned on how they might write Sonic the Hedgehog 3, because SA2 and Shadow's backstory as a whole is really dark and depressing, and the movies are obviously very family friendly.